When someone violates your boundaries, one of the only recommendations and advice that we get is that we should stop tolerating it, or we should put on boundaries, and we should enforce boundaries. And even though that this is true, there's also another method that I'm going to show you with the help of the runes, that it's a unlooked, it's a really something that people skipped, another solution that people skipped. People who haven't skipped that are healthy and wealthy people, but most of us actually miss this. So if you don't know who I am a rune counselor, I'm a rune reader. It's just like tarot reading. I do rune readings. I use Elder Futhark runes. I've been in love with them for years, and I'm studying them for years, and they taught me a lot. And I created this channel. One of the reasons why I created this is to teach you the wisdoms I learned, because I realize a lot of people need this kind of knowledge. I'm going to talk about these two runes, and I'm going to make connections between them. One of the runes I'm going to talk about is the rune Thurisaj. Now, Thurisaj is the rune, what we call is the rune of personal boundaries. The literally, this is what we call it. And it's associated with the god Thor. Now, in Norse mythology, we see gods just drinking in Asgard with all other gods, but Thor is always in Jotunheim with giants in giant realm. And what he does is he battles the giants all the time. Now, in this case, we can think giants is like, the typical bully types, and sometimes giants are also associated with the unconsciousness, the mindless destruction, and people like that also, they don't really respect boundaries. So what Thor does, Thor battles with them. And interestingly enough, giants don't bother Thor. You know why? Because he will simply not tolerate it. And that is the thing with when you deal with bullies. You do not tolerate it no matter what. It's more of a war that you go with for yourself, that you do not tolerate it. Now, this is the most simplest way. This is the most simplest way. This is Thurisaj. I practiced this rune. It worked for me fabulously. But let me give you another remedy to that. And this brings me to the second rune that I want to talk about, which is Gebo. Gebo is the rune of unconditional generosity. So according to these connection between these two runes, in order for you to protect your boundaries and have healthy boundaries, in order to solve lack of boundaries, the problem of lack of boundaries, what we have to do is unconditional generosity. What? Yeah, but you might say it doesn't make sense. It's really counterintuitive. I'm trying to protect my energy from getting sucked, and I'm trying to prevent people from monopolizing my energy. Why would I want to give it to them? Why would I want to give more to other people? I understand your confusion. And to explain that, we have to understand why we let people walk all over us. There's a simple reason. Because we let them. Yeah, because we let them. If our boundary suffers, it's because we let it. Which brings me to my other topic. There are no victims. There are no victims in this life. Have you realized sometimes when you... I don't know if you're one of those people... Well, if you're one of those people who constantly attract dysfunctional people in your life, dysfunctional partners, manipulative people, it means that there's something within your psyche, within your mentality, in your energy that attracts them to you. Well, of course, consciously you can say, why would I let someone walk all over me, right? Well, yeah, so that is why this is done unconsciously. This is not something that you do consciously. And the way this happens, that we learn to be victims. From our childhood, we learn to be victims. Maybe in our dysfunctional family homes, maybe, or in some other areas. In some areas that we grew up in, there are some people who taught us that the more we let if we let our boundaries suffer, then we love you. And that happens with the parents as well. So the more you grow up, your unconscious mind thinks that, you think at the back of your head that so if I let my boundaries suffer, people will love me more. And that is the problem right there. This is a learned mentality. This is a learned victim mentality. So this kind of victim mentality is learned. So to reverse that, what we need to do is to reverse our mentality. We need a change in our psyche. And if we do that, then what happens is we end up attracting dysfunctional people in our lives. And this solves the problem of you trying to protect yourself all the time. You're not only protecting yourself, you're basically solving the whole problem from its root. You end up manifesting those kind of people to you, right? So let me get into the solution. So how do we do this? What happens to the selfless giver? What happens to the person who gives selflessly? What happens if we practice unconditional generosity? Those people feel so secure within themselves that they know that they're not going to lose anything. What we're trying to achieve is that we will feel so secure within ourselves to the point that even if we lose all of our possessions, even if we get robbed, we're not going to feel the loss because we feel so secure within us, and we trust the universe so much to the point that we do not feel the loss of it. And to attain that security, the first thing we have to, and the most important thing we have to realize, is our hidden agendas. We want to look into our hidden agendas. And by what I mean by unconditional generosity is giving without agenda. A lot of us sometimes, often give and help people with an agenda. You might say, I don't expect much, but they don't appreciate my help. Well, that's with an agenda. If you really want to help, you have to give without an agenda. You have to give with the mindset of giving. So here's the rule. There's a reason why this Gebo rune is X mark, is the X mark. It's because if we give with the mindset of giving, things will be given from you. Things will be given to you. And if we give with the mindset of taking, things will be taken away from you. Universe reflects to those kind of decisions that we make in our life. Universe makes us responsible, takes us responsible for that. And if we change our psyche, it means the universe is going to respond to our healthy boundaries, and we're going to end up attracting healthy people. So when you reach to that point where you're giving without any agendas, and you're feeling so secure within yourself to the point that you don't feel the loss, and that you have so much you can just give it away to people with the mindset of just giving away, and then you just have more. When we reach to that security where even if we lose everything we don't feel the loss, we reach to that kind of security, to that kind of trust within ourselves, that's when we become abundant. Now that's real wealth, because nothing can be taken away from you, and nothing will be taken away from you, because the universe is going to take care of you. Now this can be really tricky. Well, how do we do this? How do I end up giving people unconditionally? Because sometimes we don't realize our hidden agendas. Here's the exercise that I can give you. Help someone every day, or give someone to charity every day or every week. Choose your consistency, doesn't matter. Help someone in some kind of way. It can be donation to a charity or whatever it is, or someone that you love. But here's the catch. You cannot let the person know that it's you who helped them. That is the most important rule. So when you go and donate to the charity, you do the donation anonymous. You don't put your name. I know there's some the options in some charities where you can do that, or donate to someone, but do it anonymously. Well, if they end up learning, then you can say, yeah, you got me, you caught me, yeah, and you just laugh it out. But you gotta do it again. Maybe not today, but you gotta do it again. And this is really, and I want to tell you why this is important, because when you start doing this, you're going to realize that something is missing. You're going to realize your hidden agendas. When you just look at that person and you help them, when you don't get their attention of their appreciation towards you, well, they might appreciate you, but they don't know who you are. So when you don't get that personal attention from someone, you're going to develop another source of happiness. Now, the only source where you can feel happy is just by helping them, because they cannot give you the attention, and no one knows that it was you who did it. And you're going to realize your hidden agendas. You're going to realize how passive aggressive you have been to other people is another thing, right? You're going to realize how passive aggressive you have been to other people. Your hidden agendas, you're going to realize all of that. So that is it. Give people without agenda, and you practice it. You will end up attracting healthy people towards you instead of dysfunctional people. And you will be able to protect your boundaries even better. This is a really good solution, and the reason why is you're not only protecting yourself, you're solving the problem on its root. Instead of protecting yourself from bullies or dysfunctional, or manipulative people, you just don't attract them in your life. You just attract healthy people in your life. And you end up becoming one of those people who navigate their life without even trying. Guys, it has to start with ourselves. It has to start within. The work has to be within. And you have to take action. Sitting at the edge of your bed and thinking about boundaries and stuff is not going to help you. If you need to protect your boundaries, you don't tolerate, and you do it. That's thurisaj. And when you're not need to protect your boundaries, you give selflessly, and you learn the mentality, the vibration of selfless giving. Then you attain Gebo. You rise to the vibration of Gebo. That is when you attain true healthy boundaries and abundance. So I hope this video helped you. I have another video that I have actually lots of videos that I want to record about, relationship between runes. So keep your eye on that. Those videos are coming as well. And thank you for watching. And I hope I helped you learn something today. I'll see you in the next video.